wise, empowering, and profoundly liberating. A life-changing experience that shows you a path to lasting happiness and how to finally be the person you truly want to be. Millions are already benefiting from these teachings, and you can be next. 64,000 is the median number of words per book. Average person reads about 200 words per minute. Simple math will tell us that is one book in 320 minutes. To accomplish this in 7 days, numbers say you would have to read for 45 minutes a day. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit that notification button, like, comment, and share. Enjoy. Welcome to the Book of the Week series. Every week as I read another amazing title, I share it with the world. My name is Igor S.F. Walker. Today we look at The Courage to be Disliked by Ichiro Kishimi and Fumitake Koga. So how about you slow down and relax? Reduce all that noise for just a bit. Make that choice and decide to listen. In this video, we discover a philosophy that profoundly is liberating, allowing us to develop the courage to change and to ignore the limitations that we and those around us can place on ourselves. Stick around till the end. I will share with you some tools I do have and use that will help you tremendously in this game of life. Discover a way to find out what actually motivates you, what innate human need is driving all of your decisions and your behavior. I will share some tools to improve your self-awareness, social awareness, self-management, and relationship management. Life can be difficult and complicated, not because the world is complicated. It is because you are making the world complicated. None of us live in an objective world, but instead in a subjective world that we ourselves have given meaning to. The world you see is different from the one I see, and it's impossible to share your world with anyone else. If we focus only on past causes and try to explain things solely through cause and effect, we end up with determinism, because what this says is that our present and our future have been decided by past occurrences and are unalterable. In Adlerian psychology, we do not think about past causes, but rather about present goals. This is the difference between etiology, the study of causation, and teleology, the study of purpose of a given phenomena rather than its cause. As long as we stay in etiology, the study of causation, we will not take a single step forward. No experience is in itself a cause of our success or our failure. We do not suffer from the shock of our experiences, the so-called trauma, but instead we make out of them whatever suits our purpose. We're not determined by our experiences, but the meaning we give them is self-determining. We determine our own lives according to the meaning we give to those past experiences. Your life is not something that someone gives you, but something you choose yourself. And you are the one who decides how you live. People are not driven by past causes, but moved towards goals they themselves set. The important thing is not what one is born with, but what use one makes of that equipment. Maybe you haven't been aware of your lifestyle until now. And maybe you haven't been aware of the concept of lifestyle either. Of course, no one can choose his or her own birth. Being born in this country, in this era, with these parents, are things you did not choose. And all these things have a great deal of influence. You will probably face disappointment and then start looking at other people and feeling, I wish I'd been born in their circumstances. But you cannot let it end there. The issue is not the past, but here, in the present. And now, you've learned about lifestyle. But what you do with it from here on is your responsibility. Whether you go on choosing the lifestyle you had up until now, or you choose a new lifestyle altogether. Well, this is entirely up to you. When we do try to change our lifestyle, we put our great courage to the test. There is the anxiety generated by changing, and the disappointment attendant to not changing. I'm sure you have selected the latter. Adlerian psychology is a psychology of courage. Your unhappiness cannot be blamed on your past or your environment. And it isn't that you lack competence. You just lack courage. One might say you are lacking in the courage to be happy. Being alone isn't what makes you feel lonely. Loneliness is actually having other people and society and community around you and having a deep sense of being excluded from them. To feel lonely, we need other people. That is to say, it is only in social context that a person becomes an individual. We cannot alter objective facts, but subjective interpretations can be altered as much as one likes. And we are inhabitants of a subjective world. Feeling of inferiority can be a trigger for striving and growth. For instance, if one had a feeling of inferiority with regards to one's education and resolved to oneself, I am not well educated, so I'll just have to try harder than anyone else. That would be a desirable direction. Now, the inferiority complex, on the other hand, refers to a condition of having begun to use one's feeling of inferiority as a kind of excuse. So one thinks to oneself, I'm not well educated, so I cannot succeed. Or, I'm not good looking, so I cannot get married. Wishing so hard to be recognized will lead to a life of following expectations held by other people who want you to be this kind of a person. In other words, you throw away who you really are and then live in other people's lives. And please remember this. If you're not living to satisfy other people's expectations, well, it follows that other people are not living to satisfy your expectations. Someone might not act the way you want them to, but it doesn't do to get angry. It's only natural. not wanting to be disliked by other people. To human beings, this is an entirely natural desire and an impulse. Kant, the giant of modern philosophy, called desire inclination. It is one's instinctive desires, one's impulsive desires. Now, if one were to say that living like a stone, tumbling down the hill and allowing such inclinations or desires or impulses to take on whatever they will is freedom, well, one would be incorrect. To live in such a way is only to be a slave to one's desires and impulses. Real freedom is in an attitude akin to pushing up one's tumbling self from below. In short, freedom is being disliked by other people. It's that you are disliked by someone. It is proof that you are exercising your freedom and living in freedom, and a sign that you are living in accordance with your own principles. When we speak of interpersonal relationships, it always seems to be two-person relationships and one's relationship to large group that actually come to mind. But first, it is oneself. When one is tied to the desire for recognition, the interpersonal relationship cards will always stay in the hands of other people. Does one entrust the cards of life to another person or hold on to them oneself? Living in fear of one's relationships falling apart is an unfree way to live, in which one is living for other people. Do not cling to the small community right in front of you. There will always be more you and I, and more everyone, and larger communities that exist. First, do the separation of tasks. Then, while accepting each other's differences, build equal horizontal relationships. Encouragement is the approach that comes next. The most important thing is to not judge other people. Judgment is a word that comes out of vertical relationships. If one is building horizontal relationships, there will be words of more straightforward gratitude and respect and joy. Being praised essentially means that one is receiving judgment from another person as good, and the measure of what is good and bad about the act is the person's yardstick. If receiving praise is what one is after, one will have no choice but to adapt to that person's yardstick and then put the brakes on one's own freedom. Thank you, on the other hand, rather than being a judgment, is a clear expression of gratitude. When one hears words of gratitude, one actually knows that one has made a contribution to another person. Someone has to start. Other people might not be cooperative, but that is not connected to you. My advice is this: you should start, with no regard whether others are cooperative or not. My advice is exactly the same. Does one accept oneself in the level of acts, or on the level of being? This is truly a question that relates to the courage to be happy. And there you have it, the courage to be disliked. Now please, do help out. It is easy, simply like this video so more people can enjoy it. Share it too and spread the word. Leave a comment and share your thoughts. Start a conversation. Subscribe to my channel and stay up to date. And the link to this book, it's in the description below. So buy it, read, never stop learning, especially learning about yourself and nature. So gift yourself by taking the free human needs test on my website and find out what actually motivates you, what innate human need is driving all of your decisions and your behavior. And if you feel you are ready to improve your self-awareness, social awareness, self-management, and relationship management even further, then do check out my Master of Life Awareness program. The links are in the description below. Thank you. Love and respect.